There's another cool chunk of data that the editors have at their fingertips. And by the way, everyone in our system, in Viking, has access to this data. There's no hierarchy of data here. If you write in our system, you can see everything I'm about to show you. I can see all this stuff. And I think that's a big difference between how a digital organization works versus many legacy organizations where, you know, maybe your data gets emailed to you once a week. Our data is always there in real time, and our editors and writers are constantly looking at it. So this data is what you call referrers. An editor can click that little button, and immediately she can see where is the traffic to a given story coming from. And that helps her understand, you know, where to promote the story, what types of social outlets might be the best. This particular story is mostly getting its traffic from the homepage and from internal links. We can also see in real time the traffic, the readership of each section of the site, and every editor can see that.
We got to do this. We need to.
Thank you. Sorry, can you hear me now? I'm usually accused of being loud. So sorry about that. Thank you for the adjustment. So these section analytics are available, again, to every writer of the story. So you can go in and see, you know, how's the readership of my section today in real time. And similarly, they can see, the editors can see the top pages that day. What are our readers clicking on? And one convenient dashboard, you know, what are people reading? That's very powerful information. It tells you what your readers care about. Readers vote with their mouses, you know, and we can see what interests them. So, of course, I did get an MBA, and this is a quote: "You cannot escape MBA school without knowing. What gets measured gets managed," by the guru, Peter Drucker. And so we believe that, and we measure a lot of stuff. We measure, for example, every month, what kind of readership each writer is bringing into the site. And in fact, it gets emailed out at the beginning of at midnight on the day of the first day of the next month. This gets emailed to the management team, and it's the readership of every writer on the site for the past month. And if we have record readership, there is a free lunch for the newsroom that week. The business side is not invited, but the editors had barbecue last week. We have a board in the newsroom that everyone can see, and it has their little pictures on it and the leaders of that moment of the site. And what it shows is a proprietary measure we invented, which is measuring the inbound traffic to a writer's content. So in other words, we wanted to separate out what writers were getting all of their page views from the home page versus what writers were cultivating and developing an audience externally and bringing readers into their work. And that's what's shown up there. It's fitting that today the fellow at the top is our kind of data journalist, Andy Kurtz, who's a big number cruncher, and so he's the top of the number board today. But it could be anyone on any given day, and it could also be content from third parties that we syndicate in. You know, it doesn't have to be just internal writers. The video team similarly is measured, so we also can see in real time the stats of the video views, which video producers are creating the most views, which pieces of content. And we think that our sponsors deserve the same kind of treatment. So for the sponsor content that we produce, which we produce quite a bit of it, we think that it's a great form of advertising and that it works very well. We give our sponsors a dashboard to view their content in real time. They can see social, they can see popularity, and this is wildly popular with advertisers. The management team looks on a more macro level at traffic sources. We actually have every week our analytics guru sends around kind of information on the traffic trends. And this is something that's sent around to a wide group and commented on and digested. And I just wanted to give you a sense of like how much this culture of data is internalized in our organization. I hope some of you in this room know Nick Carlson, who's one of the longtime writers at Business Insider, a very accomplished journalist. He wrote a book on Marissa Mayer and is now the editor-in-chief of Insider, that new property I mentioned that we launched on social. And because Insider doesn't have a website yet, it doesn't have any of that stuff I just showed you. So Nick wanted to know how he was doing and wanted to tell Henry and me how he was doing. And Nick sent us this email with his stats from Facebook and from Instagram. And just to give you a sense of like how this data is, this is an editor sending this email. Pages after pages of data sent to me by an editor. Like, when does that ever happen in a journalistic organization? Awesome.